And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch the live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Saturday. Unfortunately, no basketball on last night. Can't go over that. No basketball on today. Can't predict that. Can't get a moneymaker going. So we are now 2 days without basketball. So what can we even talk about? Should we even be doing the show right now? Well, we still got to do our NFL draft prospect of the day. We are now on day 20, folks. 20 NFL draft prospects down and in the books. So today we got a cornerback from South Carolina. I'm going to be looking at him, seeing if he is good. Should he be first overall pick? Absolutely not. But let's see if he can maybe be number 2 or better. And then also what we're doing today is, first half of the NBA season in the book. So let's kind of just see where the playoff positioning is right now, and we'll go through and who do we think, just based on what the standings are right now at the halfway point of the season. We're going to go through all the playoff games and see who is going to be our kind of mid-season NFL or NBA champion. So we got that up on the show, breaking on our stories. Tomorrow we'll go a little bit deeper into the All-Star game because, it's tomorrow. Finally, we can watch something, right? Some basketball on tomorrow. So we'll go a little bit deeper into the All-Star game on tomorrow's show. So this one's going to be a little bit lighter today. But let's just jump right into it. So here we go. And let's just start off here. We've been saying this all season, folks. Kelvin Ridley is a number 1, tier 1, A1, however you want to describe him. He is a number 1 wide receiver in this league. And him and Julio Jones just pairing up together, it's actually working very, very well. And that's why I want kind of Deshaun Watson to go to Atlanta, because I want to see that explosive capability at quarterback, but with 2 great weapons. Julio Jones is obviously A1, tier 1, we know that, but then Kelvin Ridley, what is he, this is his 3rd year, or he's going into his 3rd year. He's still very fresh in this league, but he's so freaking good. So here we go, we got a nice little highlight package of what he did this season. So let's roll the tape on Kelvin Ridley. If you haven't been watching him, if you haven't really been hearing about him, we've been talking about him a lot. We love Kelvin Ridley, a true great wide receiver out here, and this is why we're a little disappointed in Matt Ryan. They've got the talent offensively, especially with Todd Gurley. I know, he does have the arthritis in the knees. That's never great. But, he was definitely serviceable. And with all these weapons, Matt Ryan still couldn't get it done in the red zone, in the end zone, settling for field goals instead of touchdowns. So I don't want to see Matt Ryan here in Atlanta. That's why we want Deshaun Watson to come in, because if Deshaun Watson comes to Atlanta, folks, I am telling you, that is a Super Bowl contender. Yes, sir. They can rival the Bucks in the NFC, and then if they get to the Super Bowl, they can definitely rival the Chiefs, they can rival the Ravens, they can rival the Bills, they can rival whoever gets there. But Deshaun Watson would make this Atlanta team a contender, a clear-cut contender, because of their ability at wide receiver, plus Deshaun Watson, what he can bring to the game. So here we go, Kelvin Ridley from this season. Let's see what this man's got. Let's see what all the hype is about. Here we go, Matt Ryan going about 30 yards deep, and just on the sideline, Kelvin Ridley, yes sir. Can we get a nice little slower angle? All right, but nice little sideline catch for the man there. Yes, sir. Matt Ryan stepping up, and Kelvin Ridley once again coming back to the quarterback, secure the catch. That previous play was 3rd and 11, so he picks up the 3rd down there. Fantastic, keeping the chains moving. That's what he can bring to your team, folks. All right, Matt Ryan against the Cowboys, now 30 yards. Yes, sir. Kelvin Ridley beating his defender. Matt Ryan putting this ball absolutely on the money. What a beautiful throw right here. Just got it to him right just outside the outstretched hands of that Cowboys defender, and Kelvin Ridley focused on the ball, catches it in bounds, turns to the pylon, touchdown, Falcons, touchdown, Kelvin Ridley, folks. All right, what else do we get here? Against the Bears, play action pass, Kelvin Ridley going deep. Woo! Yes, sir! Can he finish? Oh, I think he's going to be down at the one. But, folks, look at this. We got to go back. We got to watch this one more time. But look at this. A solid step and a half on that defender. The speed is there. The catchability is there. He was this close of staying in bounds and hurtling over that pylon. But an absolutely beautiful ball to get open. Fantastically well done. Catching it, stays in bounds, tries his best to get to the end zone. Nice little sideline catch there. Fantastic. I mean, it's only for a couple of yards, but that's what he can do. He can toe tap. He can be on the sideline. He can get wide open. All right, dangerous little ball here thrown by Matt Ryan. Corner didn't really play this one the best. But Kelvin Ridley still catching it, still getting 2 feet in 3rd and 16, picking up the first down. Come on, 3rd and 16. What other receiver are you going to on 3rd and 16? It's got to be only Kelvin Ridley. He's the only one that can do that, folks. Come on. All right, another sideline catch there. You better watch this man on those freaking like post routes because he's going to be wide open all day. 3rd and 8. Who do you think they go to on this one? Backed up in their own end zone, and they take a deep shot. And look at that. Kelvin Ridley just purely beating the defender there, looking back for the ball, tracking the ball, catching it. 3rd and 8. Another first down. Another long 3rd down converted to a first down. Kelvin Ridley, folks. Yes, sir. Another play action pass. Matt Ryan going deep again. Kelvin Ridley, great positioning on this defender right there. And that's wide open. Defender even falls at the end. You can't keep up with the man, folks. It's like, oh my goodness, he's going deep. I can't keep up with that speed, that skill, that size, that strength, that positioning. And then Matt Ryan once again. Ooh, all right. Dangerous ball by Matt Ryan here. Luckily, Kelvin Ridley has got some nice concentration. I mean, the freaking defender, his hands are blocking Kelvin Ridley's vision on the ball because it's not very well thrown. So it's a little behind. Kelvin Ridley has to come back, wait for the ball, track the ball, get his vision block, and still able to make the catch. And now this is great coverage here with the corner right on him. And what does he do? He stays with the ball. Folks, look. Can we look at this? Is there any way to slow this down? No. Can we pause it a little bit? Let's see if we can pause it a little bit. I just want to point this out. So here we go. Ball is thrown in the air, right? Kelvin Ridley is still kind of tracking it, right? He's still running forward now at this moment, right? He's maybe thinking the ball's coming a little short, so he stops a little bit. But look at this man go. He's still tracking the ball, even though he's kind of stopped all of his forward momentum, stopping on a dime a little bit right here, still tracking the ball, and knows he kind of made a little bit of, not a mistake, but just kind of his positioning. He stops, but he's still looking at the ball. He's like, hang on, it's going to come over my head a little bit more. So he still continues to go down the field a little bit more with just his eyes, and then at the last second, he's able to make that full extension catch. So he's running full speed. He stops. He sees it's going to go over his head. He continues just a little bit more. And just that eye tracking, just tracking that ball and making an absolutely beautiful catch there on the sideline. Yes, sir. The deep threat ability, the one-on-one catchability of this man is true greatness, folks. All right, another kind of half a step on the defender on that post route to the left sideline at another 3rd and 3. You can trust this man to pick up the first downs. I love it. All right, let's keep it going here against the Chargers. Oh boy, Gage Jr.'s throwing the ball, and it's actually a better throw than Matt Ryan's got. Damn. Look at, have this man be the quarterback, bro. This is a beautiful ball, 50 yards, and it's absolutely beautifully thrown to Kelvin Ridley. Kelvin Ridley about a half a step on the defender in the end zone, and I can't believe this ball by Gage. Oh my gosh. That's absolutely magnificently thrown. Holy moly. Right over the shoulder of Kelvin Ridley. Cash wide open. Touchdown. Yes, sir. Woo. Look at that. And we got to bring up this right here. Look at this right here. Matt Ryan in the first quarter is 3 of 4 for 17 yards. Gage Jr., 1 of 1 for 50 yards on his first pass. Come on. Get Deshaun Watson in Atlanta. They would be Super Bowl contenders, folks. I'm telling y'all. Kelvin Ridley's so freaking great. Julio Jones still has something left in the tank. Oh, man. Matt Ryan's just got to be a little bit better out here. All right, once again, wide open in that kind of soft spot of the zone of kind of a post route that he's running. I mean, this one's beautifully thrown, so very well done to Matt Ryan. Great catch on the sideline, gets the feet in bounds, able to make the catch. Everything is there. Right over the middle, yes, sir. And then look at this. Oh, he's got the finishing speed. The little hezzy there, maybe a mistake. Oh, should have just kept running full speed. But so he doesn't have the true breakaway speed a little bit. That stumble right there definitely hurt him. But just great speed one-on-one. He can definitely get it done. The catching is no problem. The over-the-shoulder catch is no problem. The looking, the tracking of the ball, no problem. It's just absolutely magnificent what we get here by Kelvin Ridley. Y'all got to start respecting him if you don't respect him. And he's a true number one option out here. Love everything about Kelvin Ridley, folks, truly. Alrighty, let's move on. Here we go. We kind of talked about this at the very end of the show yesterday because it was kind of breaking as we were going live. But let's just kind of, talk this one out a little bit. So here we go. Blake Griffen has agreed to a contract buyout with the Pistons, and he is becoming a free agent. On Sunday, after 5 o'clock, he can officially kind of sign wherever he wants. So, I mean, if you're telling me there's not going to be a lot of recruiting going around, well, probably not, because I think Atlanta's pretty much kind of roped off for the All-Star game. So if Blake Griffen can make it down to Atlanta, there's going to be a lot of kind of I'm blanking on the word. I think I just said it, but I'm blanking on it. A lot of recruiting Blake Griffen, but it will probably be heavily guarded there at the All-Star game. Don't even think they're allowing fans into the stands for the All-Star game. So Blake Griffen, he's going to be able to sign anywhere after 5 o'clock on Sunday. So we'll see where he goes. I really don't see a huge market for Blake Griffen. I've been seeing, him going to the to the Nets. I've been just seeing that. Everyone's saying, oh, he's going to go to the Nets. I mean, that'd be like, all right, because they're so loaded, they can take on Blake Griffen, but he doesn't really provide anything. Really, he's not helping the Pistons. He's taking like 6 threes a game, and he's shooting like 30%, barely hitting one a game. I mean, just look at these numbers, 20 games starting, and he's averaging 12, 4, and 5. I mean, it's not great out there, and these numbers are a little inflated. We've been watching him every single game, and I don't think I've ever seen him put up 12, 5, and 4. I don't think I've ever seen that, honestly. And that his three-point shooting, 31%, it's really not good at all. And I don't know where he got this confidence from that he can shoot these threes. I mean, at the start of his career, 29%, 12%, 17%, 27%. Then he finally hit 40 and was feeling good after that and just went 33, 33, 34, 34, 34, 36. And then, when he got to Detroit here, 24, 31% respectively the last 2 seasons. So he's really not great. He's taking way too many threes a game. That cannot happen. He's not rebounding the ball. He's not being the beef that he needs to be. He hasn't dunked in years. I mean, I'm sure we all have seen that statistic been floating around for the past couple of weeks here. So let's go into the comments here. Let's see what people are saying for this man to go. I really don't see any clear-cut destination. I don't think he really improves any starting lineup he goes into. And if he comes off the bench, I don't know what he's gonna do off the bench. I don't know if he even wants to come off the bench. I don't know if he'll be good off the bench. So let's see what people are saying in these comments. Where do they think Blake Griffen should go? And do we agree or disagree? So here we go. Let's see where we got Blake Griffen from, or going, whatever. Here we go. Alrighty. People are saying he's washed, but he can give a team 20 good minutes off the bench. He wasn't giving you 20 good minutes. Look at this. He was only playing... How many minutes? He was playing 31 minutes? Oh my God. Man was playing 30 minutes. I cannot believe that. So this person thinks he can give you 20 good minutes off the bench. I don't know if he can, honestly. I don't know. I do not like the way he was looking with the Pistons. Now, he may just been playing bad on the Pistons because the Pistons are trash and he doesn't want to be there. Maybe he wanted to get traded. So if that's what he was doing, then he played the game correctly because he got his wish. He's out of Detroit without a trade. He can sign wherever he wants. He can sign with a championship contender. He can sign with a playoff contender. He can make that decision. But I do think he is a little washed. I mean, he hasn't dunked in 2 years, folks. What is that? What NBA player do you know that's currently in the league that hasn't dunked in 2 years? I don't know if there is one. So yeah, I would probably agree. He is kind of washed here. I don't know if you get 20 good minutes off the bench, honestly. I don't think that's correct. stay away from the Nets. I mean, yeah, the Nets have something really good going there. They're deep enough. They don't really need anybody else. They still have Kevin Durant. I mean, they're winning all these games without Kevin Durant. What more do y'all need? You don't need Blake Griffen to come in and kind of, I don't know if he'll poison the locker room. I don't know if that will happen. He'll kind of rejoin DeAndre Jordan. I don't know how great that relationship is. I think it was a little rocky at the end of those Clippers days, so I don't really know how their relationship would be. And plus, they don't need him, and he's taking these unnecessary threes. He's taking 6 threes a game. That's something you want on your team? Blake Griffen taking 6 threes a game? 6, folks. And he'll hit 1 probably at most. And he'll have more three-pointing attempts than rebounds. Is that something you want on your team? I don't think so. So, yes, I agree here. Stay away from the Nets. They're fine. The Nets don't need anything else. They already got, Steve Nash and freaking Mike D'Antoni on their coaching staff. They're already overcoming all these odds. Yeah, so I've been seeing him going to the Nets a lot here on Twitter, but I do not agree, folks. I truly don't. Milwaukee would be the best option? Heck no. They've got enough problems on their own. Once again, they can't hit the threes consistently. So Blake Griffen taking those 6 threes a game is not going to help out the Bucks. He cannot go to the Bucks. Truly, they've got enough problems on their own. They have enough people not stepping it up on a nightly basis alone. They don't need to add Blake Griffen to that mix. Alrighty, guess it's retirement for Blake. I kind of agree, honestly. I do kind of agree with that. Probably heading to the Nuggets. If I had to guess, they need someone else in that second unit. I don't know. The Nuggets have been a little floundering in their second unit because Paul Millsap and Gary Harris hasn't been in for a while. That's really it. But I don't see Blake Griffen putting together anything with this Nuggets team. I don't like that at all. Alrighty, let's see else. What do we got here? Oh my God, Raptor, someone who can actually play at the 5 position, get him. He can't play at the 5. What are you talking about? This man cannot play at the 5. He barely wanted to be the 4. He wanted to be kind of like a 3 there in Detroit. He was taking 6 threes a game and was not getting those boards. So no, he cannot play the 5 at all. He hasn't been dunking in 2 years. He cannot play the 5. You can't. If you have to put him anywhere, he's probably going to want to be a 4 at worst or a 3. He's going to want to play the 3 or 4. He's trying to kind of, where he's going, where I see Blake Griffen trying to go is to be kind of a spot, not a spot up 3-point shooter, but a decent 3 where he can kind of hit the 3 and maybe drive if he needs to. But they had him playing the 4 there in Detroit and that wasn't working. Or he wasn't making it work, something. All right, what else do we get here? To the Nets. See, to the Nets, I don't think they need all that. Come to Dallas. All right. Now, Dallas possibly, maybe. I don't know. Let's see what the Mavs are looking like right now. Because Porzingis hasn't been great. He's been a little kind of hit and miss, and that's what really hindered the Mavericks last season was Porzingis not playing in those playoff games, and we kind of saw, Porzingis be a little kind of in and out at the back half of the first half of the season. So obviously he wouldn't be like the center, but he would kind of make up for the 5 Maxi Kleber. I mean, he hasn't really been doing anything, honestly. So maybe you can put him at the 4 there, but Porzingis still needs to be healthy, and he's not going to be able to play at the 5, but maybe, because I haven't really been impressed with Maxi Kleber really kind of at all. I haven't really seen him step up, but I don't know how much of an upgrade that is to Blake Griffen. So Mavericks, I can kind of get. Definitely better than the Nets. Definitely better than the Raptors. Definitely better than, what else have we seen so far? The Nuggets. So possibly to the Mavs. All right, anybody else? Anybody else got some opinions on it? Somebody did Raptors, come to the Warriors. The Warriors are kind of fine. They got Draymond Green. He's not going to replace that at the 4. They've got their kind of 5s, Kevon Looney. I mean, he's starting to get back healthy. Same thing with James Wiseman. So, yeah, there's really no room for Blake Griffen on the Warriors. Honestly, they're fine there. They got Andrew Wiggins. They got Draymond Green. Now, if he wants to come off the bench, like I said, I mean, they got James Wiseman for that to kind of get the rebeef up there. He could maybe play the 4 off the bench. Who's coming off the bench for their 4? Let's get that real quick. I I just don't believe in Blake Griffen anymore. I was a Clippers fan, folks. Chris Paul, Blake Griffen, CP3 to Blake Griff, Dunk City or Lob City. I mean, I was all about that. I've got a Chris Paul Clippers jersey, folks. But I really think Blake Griffen has fallen off so freaking hard. He really can't make up any great production here. Alrighty, so off the bench for Eric Paschal. No, I'm taking Eric Paschal at the 4, yes. Yeah, so yes, no. He can't go to the Warriors. He can't. There's nobody there. And then they still got like Damian Lee to run at possibly a 4 if they need to off the bench. Alrighty, what else do we get? If it's not Golden State, no one cares. Golden State Warriors grab him. No. Anybody else got anything? All right, so I don't really see him going anywhere, honestly. I cannot get behind. I may be able to get behind the Mavericks a little bit, a tad, nothing big, but possibly the Mavericks. I would say that's what we've seen so far of all the arguments made. The Mavs would be probably the best option, but definitely don't go to the Nets. Don't ruin what they got. You can't go to the Nuggets. They're good. They're solid there. They don't need you. Warriors, once again, I think they're solid. Blake Griffen doesn't really add anything. Just think he's unfortunately done in this league. I think he's done. Can't really see him going anywhere. If you wanted to go somewhere, he should have played better in Detroit, because those last 2 seasons were absolutely atrocious. And we see Derrick Rose stepping it up in New York, and we don't, he was stepping it up in Detroit as well. So Blake Griffen not stepping it up in Detroit. Don't really see him going to somewhere else and stepping it up as well. They could have tried to have something good in Detroit with Derrick Rose and Blake Griffen, but Blake Griffen seemed to be uninterested, or just kind of the Pistons management coaches seemed to be a little uninterested because they kept having Derrick Rose come off the bench. He was coming off the bench in Detroit. I think he was. Yeah, I think he was. So I don't like it. Blake Griffen, I think he's done. All right, let's move on. Here we go. The last story to talk about here. Mike Connolly has been invited to the All-Star game because of Devin Booker. He is now out of the All-Star game, so they have to find somebody else, and they go Mike Connolly. And I saw a lot of chatter on Twitter last night about this. I don't really care. All right, congratulations for Mike Connolly. This is his first All-Star game, and he is kind of, a little older in this league. So I saw a lot of people congratulating him, but is that really how you want to get your first All-Star game? Because somebody freaking got injured, and they just invited you? I don't even think he was the next highest in voting. So congratulations for Mike Connolly, yes, but does it mean anything now? I don't know. Nobody voted you. I mean, you weren't even playing all these games. You did kind of miss a couple games. I don't think a lot of games, but he has missed a decent amount of games this season, and he still gets in there. Yeah, congrats. That's really all. I just wanted to report the story, really. I just don't I don't really care one way or another. They just invited him, so he's in there. All right. So Mike Connolly, he is on Team Durant. Yeah, on Team Durant. Whoever had let's see who had him. Let's see who had Devin Booker. He is on Team Durant. Yes, Devin Booker right there. All right. So he's going to play for Team Durant. Does he make Team Durant better than Devin Booker? No. And we still think Team LeBron will win. Ben Simmons, Giannis, Curry, Jokic, Lillard, Gobert, Chris Paul, yes sir. But we do still like James Harden, Joel Embiid for Durant, so that will be that'll be pretty hard to defend both those players. Alrighty, so that's what we got for the story today. Obviously, no NBA to break down, unfortunately. We will break down the All-Star game a little bit more tomorrow on the show since, it's the actual day of the All-Star game, so we'll go over that a little bit more. But first, for kind of one of our main segments today that we're going to be looking at, let's go to the playoffs standings and kind of just predict what we think is going to happen, just kind of based off of midway point in the season, what we've seen the first half of the season. So let's predict who we think will be the NBA champions on just this season alone, or just this first half of the season alone. We've got the official bracket up here. So let's kind of quickly go over that. In the Western Conference, currently at the All-Star break, the Jazz are the 1 seed and the Mavericks are the 8th seed. So they will match up. If the season ended right now, this would be the 1-8 matchup. Then Clippers are at the 4 seed, Blazers at the 5 seed in the West. Lakers are the 3 seed, Nuggets are the 6 seed, so they go up against each other. And then Suns are the 2 seed. Crazy, right? What a fantastic finish to the first half of the season by the Suns. These last kind of 2-3 weeks by them, just absolutely magnificent, getting those wins and moving up into that number 2 seed, dethroning the Lakers since they lost Anthony Davis and went on a big losing streak. So we definitely got to commend this Spurs team a lot. And then the Spurs at the 7th seed in the West. So that is the Western Conference matchups in the first round if the season ended today. Now in the Eastern Conference, the Raptors are the 1 seed, or no, the 76ers are the 1 seed, the Raptors are the 8th seed. So well done for the Raptors for kind of clawing their way back in a little bit. We did see them kind of flounder in kind of the first half of the season. They kind of decently have been stepping it up this last month, getting some nice quality wins here and getting that 8th seed right before the All-Star break. All right, Celtics 4 seed, Knicks 5th seed. Yes, sir, Knicks get it done. This bench is getting it done. Julius Randle is having his best season, and the Knicks have somehow found their way to this 5th seed. And maybe this Knicks team is kind of like the Raptors team of the past kind of 2 years of just a lot of role players, a lot of kind of underdog stories all coming together and having great success here because everybody's on night in, night out, and they're getting some nice wins here at the 5th seed. So very well done to the Knicks. Bucks at 3, Heat at 6. Heat getting it figured out. What was Paul Pierce saying a couple weeks ago that, the Heat weren't going to make the playoffs? Can y'all relax? We told y'all to relax. Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic, you need both of those players in your starting lineup or at least playing quality 25-plus minutes, basically starting minutes, if they want to have a chance to win. We saw Jimmy Butler out. That's why they kept losing. And then Jimmy Butler came back, but Goran Dragic was still out. That's why they kept losing. And now since they're back both starting in the now that they're both actually playing, they're 7-3 in their last 10, so they're fine, folks. They'll be fine. So Bucks, Heat, 3-6 seed in the East, and then to finish off the East, Nets have the 2 seed and the Hornets have the 7 seed. Very well done by this Hornets team. I think they have clawed their way back into the playoffs. I think they fell out for a little bit, but have found their way back in here at the 7th seed at 17 and 18. So we'll love to watch this Hornets team close out the second half of the season to maybe try to get a little bit, because you do not want to be the 7th or 8th seed in the East, because then you have to face the 76ers or the Nets. That's going to be the top 2 come the end of the season. So you definitely want to be somewhere between 3 and 6 so you have a more favorable matchup, and that's the Hornets cannot play the Nets first round, folks. They cannot do that. They will lose. Alrighty, so here we go. We're going to fill out the brackets and determine who we think will be the NBA champions based off the first half of the season. So here we go. We'll start at the West. We'll do all the first rounds, then we'll move to the second round. So here we go. Let's start top down. First matchup in the West. Jazz, Mavericks. All right, now the Jazz have been playing very well this season. They did kind of flounder a little bit kind of the last week and a half before the All-Star break, but at the end of the day, I mean, they're obviously clearly better than the Mavericks. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert are getting it done on a consistent basis, and plus they are very deep. Mike Connolly, we just saw he's getting into the All-Star game. They still got Joe Ingles. They still got, let me bring up all their rosters because I am not really... not that I'm not remembering. I can't recall at the current moment. So let's go here. Whereas, compared to the Mavericks team, I mean, Luka's the only one consistently putting in work. Nobody else is really doing anything consistent on that team. Not even really Porzingis, and I'm a little disappointed in him. And once again, we have to recall what happened to the Mavericks in the last year in the bubble. Just Porzingis not being healthy and being out there on the floor, leaving Doncic all by himself. And he still was very close of still getting far deep into that playoff run without Porzingis, but still just couldn't get enough production out of everybody else. So what else we get? Yeah, Royce O'Neal, absolutely a great 4. And Georges Niang is definitely underrated there off the bench. And then, yes, sir, Jordan Clarkson, the 6th man of the year. So absolutely stacked team. They're deep. Joe Ingles, Mike Connolly, Donovan Mitchell. We've seen him step up time and time again. And like we say, that pick and roll between Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert is truly almost unguardable, because if you double team Rudy Gobert, then Donovan Mitchell keeps the 3. That's cash money most of the time. If you double team, Donovan Mitchell, then Rudy Gobert underneath the basket, that's easy money as well. And if you're indecisive, they'll make you pay. They'll find out whatever's the best shot, whether you're kind of sagging off of Rudy Gobert down low. If you're sagging off Donovan Mitchell, they will make you pay. So you really can't do anything against this Jazz team when they're all on. So we're going to have the Jazz beat the Mavericks in the first round of the playoffs here. So let's slide their name over here. Alrighty, so we get the Jazz beating the Mavericks. Alrighty, now the second matchup in the West, the Clippers and the Blazers. And I kind of love what the Blazers are doing this season. No CJ McCollum, no Yusuf Nurkic for basically this entire first half of the season. And Damian Lillard is single-handedly carrying his team to this 5th seed with a fantastic record. I mean, folks, look at this record, 21-14. There's not a lot of teams with a better record than them. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the West because, obviously they're higher seeding. But when we look at the East, who's got 21 wins? Only 3 teams in the East. So this Blazers team is so freaking good. Damian Lillard is getting it done all by himself. And, Carmelo is still having great production off the bench. Gary Trent Jr. is a little hit and miss, not great. Enes Kanter is having a great kind of season here, making up for Nurkic down low. So, I mean, they're making it work without 2 of their starters up there. So once those starters return, the bench will get even deeper. Damian Lillard won't have to do as much on a nightly basis, even though it doesn't even matter because he's still 100% clutch whenever he needs to be. So I'm absolutely in love with this Blazers team on what they're doing, what Damian Lillard is doing. And now when we talk about the Clippers, I mean, we're talking about load management, Kawhi Leonard in and out all the time, Paul George in and out all the time, not playing together consistently when one player's in and the other's out, not having great success. When they're both out, the role players step up and have decent games, but that doesn't kind of translate back to when the starters get back in there. So they don't have all that chemistry together. So honestly, I'm ready to call the upset here. Blazers win it here. I would take them straight up in a 7-game series over this Clippers team. This Clippers team has done nothing this season to impress me. I am 0 impressed on this Clippers team. They're the most well-rested team in the league right now, and they're still not getting it done or winning consistently. They're the 4th seed in the West with all that rest. What? How many losses do they have? Let's check that real quick. How do you have 14 losses when you're the most well-rested team? You're taking breaks every freaking day, every game, every other game. Somebody's in, nobody's out, or somebody's out, nobody's in, nobody wants to play. And then once everybody's in together, they're like, how do we play together? We've barely all played together. So how do we do this? How do we close out games? Because that was our problem last season. They still haven't fixed that. They just couldn't close out against the Bucks like 3 games ago when they had like a 4-point lead in like late in the 4th quarter, and they still couldn't close it out and lose. So what have the Clippers done? Nothing. So yes, I'm calling the upset. Blazers beat the Clippers. Yes, sir. Because at the end of the season, this Blazers team, hopefully everybody's healthy and ready to rock. And, Damian Lillard is still fantastic throughout this entire season, so he's going to be on. So I'm giving the Blazers that 7-game series win over the Clippers 5-4. That 5-4 matchup in the West. Yeah, we're taking the Blazers. All right, let's move on to Lakers and Nuggets now. Alrighty, now we just saw this matchup last season in the bubble for the Western Conference semis. So, I mean, what more did the Nuggets need to step up a little bit? And they still couldn't get it done. Lakers win at 4-1. Anthony Davis will probably be healthy at the end of the season, so he'll be good to go. And if Anthony Davis is in against this Nuggets team, we got to take the Lakers here because AD is one of the few bigs that can guard the perimeter and the low post when he needs to. So that basically takes Jokic out of the equation, and then Jamal Murray has to step it up a little bit more, and Michael Porter Jr. has to step it up a little bit more. Now, Michael Porter Jr. has been good these last kind of two weeks ever since he got back from the bench, and they put him at the 4. He's actually having great success at the 4 here this last kind of week and a half. But overall, the Nuggets' best player is clearly Jokic. The number 2 option is clearly Jamal Murray, and the number 3 option is clearly Michael Porter Jr., but LeBron's going to be able to take away, Michael Porter Jr. or whoever he's on, or Dennis Schroeder's going to be able to lock up Jamal Murray, and that AD locking up Jokic is the biggest factor. That's why the Lakers won it 4-1 last year against this same Nuggets team. Nothing's really changed between this Lakers and Nuggets team, so we're still going to take the Lakers here. LeBron gets it done. AD's healthy. As long as AD is healthy, they beat the Nuggets, no problem. Alrighty, and then the final first-round matchup in the Western Conference, the Suns and the Spurs, and this Suns team, yes, sir, Chris Mother-loving Paul, point God. We saw what he did last year with the Thunder, the 4th seed in the West. Did they make it past the first round of the playoffs right here? No, they didn't. Oh, they lost to Houston first round 4-3, close, but they took it 7 games, and that's what Chris Paul can bring to your lineup. And now, I mean, he's even got a better supporting cast. I mean, his supporting cast last season at OKC was Lugan Stort, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously, but Lugan Stort was stepping it up kind of with Chris Paul, and now he's having a real bad season here. So he kind of upgrades. He upgrades Lugan Stort and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. I mean, folks, yes, sir. This is a clearly better supporting cast for Chris Paul, and they're making it all work. They're the 2 seed here and getting it done. So I absolutely love that. Now, they definitely knew this Suns team definitely needs their bench to step up a little bit more. The 2 Camerons, Cameron Payne, Cameron Johnson, Jay Crawford. He's been stepping it up kind of consistently, so we have been seeing that. But the other Cameron Johnson, Cameron Payne need to have good nights. They all kind of need to go for 10 plus points, both the Camerons off the bench. But I'm liking what I'm seeing here from Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. They're all getting it done really kind of every single game. Now we look at the Spurs. This Spurs team is a little sneaky under the radar. I think this is like the only team that doesn't really get a lot of play, even though they are currently in the playoffs. And now they have kind of slid a little bit because I believe they were a little bit higher than the 7th seed. I want to say that they up to the 6th at one point. They may have, but they have been floundering a little bit here the past week and a half. A lot of ins and outs, a lot of key players not playing, especially on the bench. So that's why they've been going down a little bit. But the Spurs do have great defense, and this would be a close series. Greg Popovich, he didn't make the playoffs last year. They're kind of getting right this year defensively. Everybody's kind of decently stepping it up, and they are having decent success against kind of the top tier teams. This is a true good team here. This Spurs team, don't sleep on the Spurs team. They are good. But at the end of the day, I'm taking Chris Paul over everybody. I'm taking Devin Booker. I mean, he still clutches all heck, carried it over from the bubble last season to this season. So got to give it to the Suns here. Chris Paul's maybe last best chance at a ring here, potential. So going to take the Suns over the Spurs here in the 2-7 matchup in the West. Alrighty, so that's the first round, all in the West. So let's go to the East now. First round, 76ers and the Raptors. Folks, I'm telling you, when the 76ers starting roster is all on, they are one of the most unstoppable starting rosters in the entire league, folks. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, Danny Green. It really just comes down to Danny Green. If Danny Green can get it done, if he's having 12 to 15 plus points, he's shooting 4 or 5 from 3. I'll even give him 3 or 5 from 3. If he's hitting that good number from 3, they're going to win the entire thing. I'll say it right now. It all hinges on Danny Green, and we just saw Danny Green last year for the Lakers. Really couldn't be clutch. Remember the game-winning 3? I think it was either Game 4 or Game 5 to really close out, I think, the finals against the Heat, and he missed a wide-open 3 and had to go into overtime, and I think they still won the game at the end of the day. But, I mean, Danny Green, please be clutch for once in your life. Ugh. So, all that being said, love the 76ers team. Now, this Raptors team is, I have been saying they've been kind of running out of their magic a little bit. What made this Raptors team so good was kind of all the role players, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam. I don't really count them as true superstars. Same thing with Norman Powell. The only superstar on that kind of Raptors team is Kyle Lowry. Everybody else is kind of a nice supporting cast, and everybody on that Raptors starting lineup would have great game. Everybody's putting up, 12, 15 plus points. Your main guys, Siakam, Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet are all kind of putting up 20 plus points. Same thing with Norman Powell. So they do have good players on their team that can go for 20 plus points every single game, but they haven't all been doing it in the first half of the season. That's why they've been floundering a little bit. That's why they're the 8th seed. What were they last year in the bubble? I think they were decently higher. Where were they? The 2 seed. They were the 2 seed last year, folks, so they have definitely fallen off hard. Nick Nurse is still a great coach. It's just they're running out of that magic a little bit. They definitely need that superstar. They need another superstar on that team, and it's no disrespect to Fred VanVleet or Pascal Siakam. They're good role players. They're good supporting cast. they're just not ready to kind of elevate their game to kind of that superstar status, and kind of get it done consistently and kind of be the man every game, night in and night out this season. So they have been falling off a little bit. This is kind of their last kind of season on this magical Raptors run. I don't think this Raptors team is going to be good if they keep everybody like what they've been doing the last 2-3 seasons. So ever since they, with Kawhi, that was when they're at their peak. Their first year without Kawhi, they were still good, still trending up. And now that 2 years removed of Kawhi, they are finally starting to kind of run out of that kind of underdog magic that they've been working with. So we've been giving the Raptors a chance to kind of turn it around in our eyes. We put them in the top 10 a couple weeks ago. They didn't really kind of hold up to that standard, so we had to drop them, and now they're the 8th seed, and just nothing really fantastic about them. But they do have the ability to kind of turn it around the back half, but what we've seen so far, this is a clear, easy matchup. 76ers win it all day. Nobody's going to be able to stop Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons can lock up anybody on this Raptors team one-on-one, no doubt. He can take 1 through 5. He can defend it all. So the defense is going to be a little bit too much for this Raptors to overcome, and the 76ers win the first round matchup. All right, now we go to the Celtics and Knicks here. Now, this is interesting. We have to take it as, the Celtics, we don't know what they do at the trade deadline, even though they need to do something desperately, probably get another big. But what they have on this current roster right now, this will probably go 6 or 7 games. This will probably be the closest matchup here, probably in all of the first round matchups of the playoffs. This Knicks-Celtics 4-5 matchup in the East. Now, this Knicks team, what do they need to do to be successful on a nightly basis? They need their starters to all put up 10 plus points, and then they need at least two players off their bench to put up 10 points as well, 10 plus points as well, if they want to have a chance. Now, they do have a lot of pieces to do that with. We know, obviously, in the starting lineup, we can obviously count on RJ Barrett to get it done. We can obviously count on Julius Randle, the freaking all-star selection there, so we can definitely count on those 2 players. Now, Derrick Rose has been elevated to that starting lineup, and he's been looking really good his few games that he's been playing in New York since he got there, but so that's working out very well. And then the bench of Emmanuel Quickley, Taj Gibson, I know I'm forgetting others on that bench, but they do have that kind of firepower off the bench when they need it. So when they're all on, this is a good, solid Knicks team. We haven't really seen them beat the best teams consistently. We've seen them go against kind of the middle of the road, a little bit below average teams, and they are having great success against those teams. But we definitely want to see them, play some of these playoff teams and see how they fare. But this Knicks team at the 5, they are kind of all playing decently well here. Now, the Celtics, obviously they got some stars. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, absolutely killing it. Kemba Walker, little bit of a wild card, taking way too many threes, kind of like what Blake Griffin's doing. You need to cut down on the threes. The only person I want taking 12 to 15 threes a game is on the Celtics team is either Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. I don't want that coming from Kemba Walker, though he keeps on doing it. They obviously need Marcus Smart back, and he most likely would be back for this finals. So this would really come down to the wire. And I hate myself for doing this, but I have to take the Celtics here. Just at the end of the day, like I said, the series would probably go 6 or 7, and if it went 7, I just have to go with who is your superstar and who can I trust the most to get it done. And I'm taking Jason Tatum out of the entire pool of players between the Celtics and the Knicks. I'm taking Jason Tatum. If my game is on the line, if my playoff life is on the line, it's Game 7, fourth quarter tie game with a minute left. I'm taking Jason Tatum. And then for my number 2, who am I taking? Jaylen Brown. So the 2 best players out of the entire pool of both of these teams here are on the Celtics. So I think it's going to go either 6 or 7 if this is a true matchup. And I'll take Jason Tatum at home, Game 7. Jaylen Brown at home, Game 7. I'll take the Celtics here. But this is a good stepping stone for this Knicks team. I mean, if they get if they get a trade at the trade deadline after the All-Star break, I mean, this Knicks team could go above and beyond. Absolutely, if they get a nice, great piece. Don't really know what they would be missing. Maybe a great number 3, a good 5 possibly as well. I do like Nerlens Noel, but if you can get him off the bench, that would be kind of great, actually. So the Knicks do have a lot of potential here, but just of what they have right now, I can't really trust all those role players to get it done consistently. We just saw Emmanuel quickly put up 0 points to his last game. I mean, I know it's just one game, but it's still something that I do kind of take not hugely into account, but smidgely into account. And we're talking about a 6-7 game series here, close series. Every game is starting to matter here. So Celtics beat the Knicks opening round. Alrighty, Bucks Heat 3-6 matchup, and this is a no-brainer, folks. Heat all day. Come on, we just saw this exact same matchup last year in the bubble. Kind of nobody really got any better players. Nobody really lost any key players from that last series. So yes, we're taking the Heat here. Did they win like 4? They won 4. They won 4-1, folks. I mean, that's a gentleman's sweep. I mean, it's a blowout. That's a clear, dominant, better team, better performance every single game by this Heat team. And like I said, they just need Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic. That's all they freaking need, folks. They can have Kendrick Nunn have a good game or not. It doesn't matter. Bam Adebayo. As long as they have Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, and Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo is just a 3. They just clearly need Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic, but definitely, Bam Adebayo, he's the beef, so you obviously want him. But then it doesn't matter who shows up. Kendrick Nunn, it doesn't matter. Tyler Hero, it doesn't matter. Kelly Olynyk, I mean, him in the starting lineup is just not great, so him coming off the bench is decently as well, but it doesn't matter who comes in and who steps up and who doesn't have a good game as long as the big 3 is there, usually just the big 2 of Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, obviously Bam Adebayo. Definitely helps against this Bucks team to kind of soak up some of that beef of Giannis and Brook Lopez, but let's talk about this Bucks team. There's nobody clutch on this team, 0 clutchness. It hasn't even just started the season. It goes back to last season, obviously in the bubble. I mean, they weren't even clutch then. Can't even beat a Heat team when you have all that better size, but they can't hit the 3. What do the Bucks struggle with the most? The 3. They can't guard the 3. If you have a great 3-point shooter, if you have a great big that can kind of soak up some of that beef of Brook Lopez and Giannis, I mean, that just makes it absolutely fantastic because everybody in Milwaukee is pretty beefy just by nature. So just the kind of entire team of this Bucks team is decently beefy. So obviously, if you have a great big that can soak up some of that, and then if you have the 3-point shooting, you extend the floor, you spread the floor out, and that's what the Heat have. They got the nice beef and Bam Adebayo. They got the 3-point shooting, Goran Dragic, Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn. Jimmy Butler's not the greatest, but he can go 2 of 3, 1 of 2. Decently stretch the floor. You have to kind of respect it a tad. So I'm taking the Heat here, folks, over this Bucks team. Nobody's clutch. Giannis can't hit the 3s consistently, not spreading the floor, so you just guard him in the low post, and that's fine. Who's going to make you pay? Chris Middleton? Not really. He doesn't really step it up consistently or in the crunch time. Dante DiVincenzo, he had 1 game-winning charge this season, and he thinks he's like the best defender, just kind of pure clutch player that he is, but he's not. Nobody really steps it up here. Now, they did get who they just get back here? I want to say, is it Drew Holiday? Is that who I'm thinking of? Let's double check really quick. Was it Drew Holiday? Is that it? I think that's who I'm thinking of. Who is it? Yeah, Drew Holiday. They did just get Drew Holiday back, which is definitely going to help him. I mean, he just came in and was clutch absolutely in their last game against the Grizzlies where, John Morant hit the game winner and then Drew Holiday said, hold my beer, I'll hit a better one. And he ended up winning the game for the Bucks. So, if Drew Holiday can definitely, turn this team around and be that clutch factor and be that kind of spread the floor factor that they need, then definitely he can kind of rival the Heat. But what we've just seen in this first half of the season goes back to last season as well. I got to keep this Heat team. So we're having the Heat once again beat the Bucks in the playoffs. Alrighty, and then the last matchup in the East is Nets and Hornets, and as much as I love the Hornets, folks, I voted LaMelo Ball as an all-star, a starting all-star. I'm super impressed by this team. They've got some nice young pieces over there. Just don't think they're ready to kind of rival a superpower team in the Nets. I mean, folks, just with James Harden and Kyrie Irving, I don't expect this Hornets team to win. And then if you add a healthy Kevin Durant, you get 0% chance there. So, unfortunately, love this Hornets team. That's why I don't want to see this Hornets team be the 7th or 8th seed. I want to see them climb to at least the 6th seed so they can have a favorable matchup. I'd give them a decent chance if they had to go against the Bucks. Let's just say they kind of switch places here between the Heat Heat and the Hornets. So the Hornets go to the 6th seed. The Heat drop down to the 7th. I'd give the Hornets a decent chance to beat the Bucks. Probably go 6 or 7 games, and we'll see. But Giannis definitely against Cody Zeller is going to be an eat up all day by Giannis. That's kind of where this Hornets team flounders. They don't have a true great big. Cody Zeller is decent, kind of maybe a tad slightly above average, very, very minuscule. But that's kind of what they're missing there. But yeah, I would have them rival the Bucks. They would beat the Celtics. They would beat the Knicks. I would definitely say that. I would give them a great chance of beating both of those teams. So if they can get out of that kind of number 7 or 8 seed for this Hornets team, they can make a run to that second round of the playoffs. And hey, I'll take that. I'll take a Hornets rookie season LaMelo Ball first round of the playoff win. I would love to see that. So can't give them a win here against the Nets, unfortunately. So just do not be the 7th or 8th seed, please, Hornets, please. Want to see you go a little deep, not too deep because you're not that great quite yet, but you got some nice pieces to win a first round matchup if you have a favorable matchup. Alrighty, so there it is. The 76ers, Celtics, Heat, and Nets all advanced. So let's go back up to the top here in the West and do round 2 here. Alrighty, then we get the Jazz and the Blazers, and I really think this Blazers team can rival the Jazz pretty decently here. Probably go 6 or 7 games. Once again, I'm expecting Nurkic and CJ McCollum to both be in. Nurkic can probably lock up Rudy Gobert decently down low. It would be a very intense battle. Did they face last year in the bubble? No. Yeah, Utah couldn't even make it past the first round, unfortunately. Neither did the Blazers because they had to face the Lakers first round. All right, so they didn't meet in the bubble. And oh man, Damian Lillard over Donovan Mitchell. I mean, remember last year, Nuggets and Jazz, and it would be Jamal Murray goes off, and then Donovan Mitchell goes off. That's why I went 7 games. So I really think the Blazers would have a real great chance at rivaling this Jazz team. Jordan Clarkson, but then, coming off the bench for the Jazz, definitely great there. But the way Carmelo's playing and just the clutchness of Damian Lillard, man, Enes Kanter as well as the backup big. Man, oh man, I think it would go 6 or 7, folks. I truly do. The way the Jazz have been playing this last week have been kind of making me think they're getting a little exposed. 6-4 in their last 10 when we're kind of used to them 8-10, 9-1 in their last 10. Big 7-8 win streaks there. But they did kind of flop here at the back half. How much do we penalize them for that? Joe Ingles is great. Oh, man, this would be, I really hope we get this at some point this season because I'm telling you, they would rival each other great. They would match up so freaking great. Ugh. Let me see. Did they have they faced this season? Let's, how can I look up this quickly? What can we do here? All right, let's see if we can get this. Let's see. I may just take up the straight game-to-game matchup. I may just take that as the gospel, honestly. Let's see if we can do this very quickly here. I do want to give it to the Blazers. I want to see the Blazers win it, honestly. 7-game series. This website's going slow, so we may just have to call it. Come on. Alrighty, here we go. What do we get? That's preseason. Alright, here we go. When had they faced? You're telling me they faced game 1? Oh, game 1, day 1. Jazz win. Wow, the first game of the season, Jazz win 120-100. Oof. They faced again. Please tell me they faced again. At least get it to a 1-1 tie so maybe we can break it. Ugh. What do we get? Still only that one matchup. Still only that one matchup. Still only that one matchup. Oh, now we're in April. All right, so we haven't gotten that far yet. Alrighty. Well, I said we'd take it as the gospel, so this would be a great series. We'll call it Jazz, though. Blazers lose in 7. Damn, that's going to be a great one, folks. Truly could go either way. Alrighty, now let's move on to Lakers and the Suns. And the Suns team can definitely rival this Lakers team. But at the end of the day, it's LeBron James, it's Anthony Davis. And once again, the Suns team would, have to run into a greater opponent than themselves. Now, Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton definitely can make it work, but like this, it's just a little bit too much lackluster on the bench for the Suns, not stepping it up consistently. Now, this Lakers bench isn't any that much better. I mean, Taylor Horton-Tucker, Alex Caruso, Kyle Kuzma, depending on what role he plays when Anthony Davis comes back. But, no real great step up for this Lakers team. And same thing with the Suns, besides their big three, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and Devin Booker. Same thing with the Lakers' big three, LeBron James, AD, and Dennis Schroeder. It's just like no real great contribution between everybody else. Nobody else besides those big threes on both of those teams that you can kind of rely on if one of the big three is out for them to kind of step up in that role and get that same solid production. I'm not talking, consistently. I'm just talking for one game. We really can't count on anybody else. So I'm going to take the Lakers here. It's LeBron, folks. He gets it done. He hasn't missed a game at all this season. He gets it done. Well, he missed the last game because, obviously, no AD, last game before the All-Star break. So we'll give him that one. But going to say the Lakers beat the Suns here. It's just LeBron, folks. LeBron and AD together are an unstoppable force. We just saw it last season. I mean, folks, look at all their wins here. 4-1 against Portland, 4-1 against Houston, 4-1 against Denver, 4-2 against the Heat. I mean, they literally ran through everybody. Now, this, Suns team is still good. Don't get us wrong, but at the end of the day, they'll still get ran through by this Lakers team. I don't think any kind of, no doubt, maybe 6 games. 5-6 games. So we're going to put the Lakers up here. Lakers, Jazz, Western Conference Finals. Alrighty, let's see who these Eastern Conference Finals are going to be. Here we go. First matchup in the semis. 76ers and the Celtics, and yes, 76ers all day. This Celtics team doesn't have a great big at all. Daniel Tice over Joel Embiid, stop it. Robert Williams over Joel Embiid, stop it even more. Tristan Thompson over Joel Embiid, please stop, all right? So, the Celtics team, they don't have a great big, and you need a good big to rival this 76ers team, and they don't have that. So Celtics would probably get swept in the series, honestly. 5-1, 4-0, that's what it's going to, or 4-1, 4-0, that's what this matchup would be. The Celtics, they don't have that great big. There's only so much Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can do for the Celtics team. Nobody else really steps up. They get nobody else. If Kemba Walker has a good game, that's really all you can count on. You can count on nobody else. Maybe Marcus Smart if he's healthy in the first quarter, but to have a clutch shot, you can't trust on Marcus Smart for that. So the defense of the 76ers, the beef of Joel Embiid is just too much for the Celtics to overcome. So the 76ers win it kind of decently. All right, and then the last one in the East, Heat and the Nets, and we have to give it to the Nets. I mean, we're talking about 3 fantastic superstars, and the fact that James Harden is absolutely killing it at the point guard position. I mean, having, 30, 15, 14 games, just absolutely triple doubles that are absolutely mammoth, not putting up a lot of shots, having Kyrie kind of, hey, Kyrie, you want to be the main guy, then here's the shots. I'm going to shoot better than you, and I'm going to put up probably more points on the nightly basis, but go ahead and call me the point guard. That's fine, Kyrie. Be delusional. We don't care. As long as we're winning, I don't care. I was in Houston for all these years. I don't care. I was losing. I just want somebody else to be good. And Kyrie Irving is good and can score the ball, so I'll let him have the biggest head he wants. I do not care. I just came from Russell Westbrook. I will definitely praise Kyrie Irving if that's what it takes for him to be good. So, gonna give it to the Nets here. This Heat team, they're just not going to have the consistent firepower to keep up with the Nets. And, the matchup between their bigs of, Bam Adebayo and DeAndre Jordan, it's going to kind of cancel each other out. Maybe a slight advantage to Adebayo, but at the three-point shooting at that point, I mean, it goes to the Nets. kind of 1,000%. So, and plus you can count on their supporting cast of Bruce Brown and Joe Harris. Joe Harris has been playing phenomenal, folks. He's playing phenomenal. He's hitting, 60% of threes, still getting 15 to 19 points a game, even when James Harden's going for 30 and Kyrie's going for 30. This man can still find the great shots and the great opportunity and those great productions in those points column for Joe Harris. So the supporting cast for this Nets team, got to give it to the Nets here. Alrighty, so we've got the Final Four, Jazz, Lakers, 76ers, and the Nets. Let's see who goes to the finals. Alrighty, Jazz, Lakers should be a great matchup, but Rudy Gobert cannot guard the perimeter. He can't guard it. So Anthony Davis, if he's hitting the threes, which he can, that's the advantage right there. Plus you got LeBron James, and then you got, Dennis Schroeder versus Donovan Mitchell. And, I do like Donovan Mitchell a little bit better, but Dennis Schroeder is still kind of a viable option, a serviceable point guard out there. Great defender as well. Decent at hitting the three. Kind of has to step that up a little bit more. So they win the big matchup, which is a huge advantage to the Lakers, but the Jazz do kind of have the depth and the consistency shooting on the bench. I can count on Jordan Clarkson. I can count on Joe Ingles to hit those threes, where the Lakers, who am I trusting to hit the threes in the clutch time besides, the big three? I can't trust Kyle Kuzma. I can't trust Alex Caruso. I may be able to trust Taylor Horton Tucker just this season, but maybe I haven't seen him in kind of a Western Conference Finals game. So they do win the big matchup. That is a huge matchup. Jazz have kind of the bench, the scoring bench to overtake the Lakers. I do think this one would probably go 6 or 7, but at the end of the day, I think I still got to give it to this Lakers team. I really don't see them floundering when the big three is there. We've seen not really too many games where the Jazz are floundering when everybody's in the starting lineup. Mike Connolly's there, Donovan Mitchell is there, Rudy Gobert is all there. Haven't really seen too many games of them floundering as well when all the stars are healthy. So definitely going to be a close one. But it's LeBron and AD, folks. Like, they just ran through the playoffs last year. We've got to take that into some consideration. Nobody was able to kind of go 7 games. Nobody was able to kind of rival the Lakers the entire time. And I mean, folks, we're talking about some decent teams here. Portland last year, they were getting hot. They were streaking in the bubble. They were great. And the Lakers said, no problem. You're done. You're out of here. Leave. 4-1 win. Same thing with the Houston Rockets. I mean, they still had James Harden. They still had that. They were still small ball, and that definitely hurt them against AD, but they had some nice shooters out there and still ran through them 4-1. Then they get to Denver, who's kind of exactly like the Jazz. The Jazz and the Denver Nuggets are really kind of the exact same team, just one has a better point guard over their big, and one has a better big over their point guard. That's really the difference there between these two teams. So, and the Lakers still ran through them 4-1, so I really don't see anything changing here this season, especially when this Lakers team is kind of exactly the same that they were. Yes, they, losing some pieces of Dwight Howard and, Rondo, but all those players really only made great contributions for maybe one playoff series, and then another player would step up, and they've got some potential players to step up in those roles as well, that they can kind of, all right, let's step up, let's have them step up here, and let's switch the rotation around so we have a favorable matchup here. So at the end of the day, still got to give it to the Lakers until they prove us wrong. I mean, folks, just last season in the finals, or in that playoff run, was just something wild, folks, just running through everybody, no problem. So we get the Lakers beating the Jazz. Jazz are like the Nuggets. Lakers ran through the Nuggets last year, no problem. They do it again this season. They beat the Jazz. AD, folks, he's a problem, and Rudy Gobert's not going to be able to guard him. He's not going to be able to guard AD. That's all it is. Alrighty, now let's head over to the Eastern Conference Finals. Here we go, 76ers and the Nets, and this one's going to be great as well. Joel Embiid will dominate. He'll dominate. DeAndre Jordan cannot keep up with Joel Embiid. He's not going to be able to guard the perimeter with Joel Embiid out there. So that's a clear matchup for the 76ers. But then we just got some hitters, folks. We got some hitters on this Nets team. Durant, Harden, Irving, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the firepower might be a little bit too much for this 76ers team. Now, we do get great defense by Ben Simmons, but it's just going to be too much for him to do it alone. Now, we're going to have to start looking at, Tobias Harris, which I definitely think can step it up and be that true defender and be that great scorer that they're going to need to rival this Nets team in a 7-game series. But now when we're looking at, all right, now we're going to have to go deep because this Nets team is deep of just James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Jordan, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris. So the 76ers need to be that deep. So when we're looking at the 4th and 5th option, we're looking at Seth Curry, who's been a little hit and miss, this first half of the season, and then Danny Green, who's been a lot more misses than hits. So when we're going at the depth, we got to give it to the Nets. The one thing the 76ers have greatly is kind of that great big, kind of like what the Lakers have over the Jazz. But at the end of the day, I mean, we just saw Kevin Durant. He's going to be clutch. He was clutch with the Warriors, the freaking game winner over LeBron in the finals. Just step up, dribble, cash, 3 feet from the 3-point line, pulling up and shooting, icing the game. So at the end of the day, the clutchness, the firepower of the Nets, unfortunately, I think will overpower the defense and the big ability that the 76ers have. And it's just going to be unfortunate for the 76ers team. There's nothing you can do about it, honestly. It's just the Nets are wild. They got everybody. You can't really blame yourself. You did exactly what you could do. You got to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they would make it competitive 6 or 7 games, but at the end of the day, I'm taking the clutchness, the firepower, the big 3 over Joel Embiid, potential MVP. And then we get the Lakers and the Nets. Ooh, this is going to be great. If we can get this, honestly, LeBron James versus, the freaking goon squad of Kevin Durant, who betrayed him. Well, they didn't really betray him, but was a rival with the Warriors. Kyrie Irving, who has betrayed him. James Harden, who he's never played with. So that will be a true interesting matchup. I think LeBron would go absolutely beast mode and literally he would die on the court in this series to be competitive. He would die. He would say, all right, I'll cut my career ending this season if at least I can go 6 or 7 games against this Nets, and at the end of the day have a kind of a 50-50 chance of winning the game, depending on how clutch I am down the stretch, how much I exert my body, and how much I truly sacrifice to beat this Nets team. So I think this is a fantastic matchup. I think we all want to see this. Come on, can we be real for a second? Whoever you root for, whoever your team is, you're telling me you don't want to see LeBron versus a real life kind of all-star monsters from freaking Space Jam. You're telling me you wouldn't want to see LeBron James versus, his ex-protege, Kyrie Irving, who didn't want to be his protege, who wanted to be a true number 1, Kevin Durant, who's all about the mother love and rings, and James Harden, who's just like, hey, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm a true kind of competitor. I'm a true team player. You're telling me you wouldn't want to see LeBron James go against the best 3 players ever assembled on a team, maybe rivaling, what the Warriors did with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant? Come on, let's be a little real here. So, man, oh man, this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be crazy. Kyrie Irving. The only thing I can think of is Kyrie Irving just kind of gets in his own head and just kind of takes like 35 shots a game on like 30% shooting and really just kind of not very well out there to try to prove, hey, LeBron, I'm great, respect me. Man, this goes 6 or 7. LeBron James, AD stretches the floor. DeAndre Jordan won't be able to guard him, but you'll have help defense. I'm sure Kevin Durant will help over if they have Kevin Durant at the 4, depending on what they kind of have as their starting lineup. That's another problem. We haven't really seen a Nets really kind of consistent starting lineup of who's really going to be like the starting 5 there, because Durant's been out and Kyrie Irving's been out a little bit. But at the end of the day, the Nets firepower, folks. It's just great. I mean, James Harden's playing so freaking great. Kevin Durant can be clutch every single game. And I mean, at the end of the day, you've got 3 great people that can take that last shot. Or the Lakers, I only want LeBron James or Anthony Davis, and really kind of just LeBron James taking that last shot. So I think we got to give it to the Nets here in a 7-game series of winning the finals. That's what we got, folks. Nets winning. Nets Lakers finals. Nets winning in 7. Yep. Alrighty, that is our mid-season NBA finals playoff bracket simulation. Nets win in 7. Alrighty, let's close out the show with our other main topic of today, our NFL draft prospect of the day. We are on a 73-day countdown up until the NFL draft. We are 20 days in of that countdown, and Jaycee Horn is our 20th NFL draft prospect we are currently looking at. He's a cornerback from South Carolina, so we'll look at his stats, break down his film, and seeing how nice this man is looking. Should our teams be taking the risk of drafting this man first-round pick, first overall? Can he battle? Can he rival Trevor Lawrence for that first overall pick by the Jags? Like we said, no, nobody's rivaling. He's already locked up. Trevor Lawrence is locked up number 1 overall. But can this man go number 2? Probably not again, but we'll see what he's got. So here we go. Let's break down the stats. Let's get those out of the way. So he's a 6'1", 205 cornerback from South Carolina. 3 seasons there, freshman year. He's got 45 total tackles, 2 sacks, no picks, 8 pass defenses, so don't you dare to target him. He will break up those passes. No forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries this first year, but they did make it to a bowl game, so we will check that out a little bit deeper. And then in 2019, 40 tackles, only 1 sack, no picks, 2 forced fumbles though, so still pretty good there. And then in 2020, this season, played only 7 of, I think, the 10 games that South Carolina played. He did kind of opt out of the season really kind of late. Really saw them going nowhere. I mean, the South Carolina Gamecocks record was not great any of these 3 years he was there. So 2020, this season, only played in 7 games, 16 tackles, no sacks, 2 interceptions, though. I mean, he hasn't had an interception in his first 2 seasons, but then only 7 games this season. He's got 2 picks. I'm all about that. 6 pass defenses, no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries. All right, so the stats aren't too bad here. Breaking up these pass defenses like it. 8 his first year, 9 his second year, 6 his last year, for a total of 23 through his 3-year career there. Got 2 picks this season. That's all. I'm all about that. But we do weigh bowl games heavily. What are you doing in the bowl games? Because usually the defenses, the offenses you're facing are a little lackluster throughout the entire year. Then the bowl game, you get kind of a solid opponent that you kind of decently match up against. So I want to see you perform very well for the bowl games, and just kind of above all else, you have like 3 weeks to prepare, 3 weeks to a month to prepare for this game. So everybody should be on. So they make it to a bowl game. Jaycee Horn only makes it to 1 bowl game his freshman year. Let's see how well he did. Well, they get a loss. Not great. He had 6 tackles in this game, 1 sack, so he got it done there. No interceptions, no pass defenses. So a little unfortunate there. Let's see how many points they gave up in this game. They gave up 28 points. They couldn't do anything offensively. I mean, this team was truly not good. They went 7-6 his first year there. Then in 2019, they went 4-8, no bowl game. And then last season, they went 2-8. I mean, he only played 7 games of their 10. And he's like, hang on, we're not winning. I'm out of here. Like, I'm just going to prepare for the draft. This COVID, y'all sucking. I'm not staying around. I'm not risking it. So, not terrible there. Played for not a great team. Couldn't elevate them single-handedly by himself. A little unfortunate, but not, nothing, bust-worthy, nothing not draft-worthy. So that's his stats. Let's get into his film now. We got a nice little highlight clip of what he did for his entire career there in South Carolina, and then we have just what he did this season if we need to see a little bit more of him. So here we go. Let's run the tape. Jaycee Horn, cornerback from South Carolina. Let's get the numbers so we can track him. He's number 7 and number 1, so we'll be on the lookout for that. So here we go. Jaycee Horn. All right, first play here. Let's see if we can find him before the snap. Blitzing off the edge, number 7, and he goes and gets the quarterback down. Yes, sir. Watch him just kind of break through that line, get to the quarterback. Fantastic. I'm all about cornerback blitzes. Yes, sir. Can get to the quarterback. Good. All righty, now he's in protection this time. Quarterback is scrambling out of the pocket, has to throw back, and that's a pick. Yes, sir. He's at the top of the route right here on the defense, able to kind of just come off, break off that route. He sees where the quarterback is going with the ball, following his eyes. I mean, folks, he's all the way, he's up here. This is where he is, covering this guy. And then he sees the ball, breaks on the ball, pick. Yes, sir, that's fantastic. Oh, no, against Alabama. Is that Tua out there? Is this Tua? It is Tua throwing a ball out here that's going to be highlighted. All right, here it is. Tua throwing over the middle. All right, it's not a pick, and it's a good throw. He just comes over and breaks up the ball. That's all he does. I mean, he's respecting. I mean, this is Devontae Smith. This is Heisman winner. You give him some respect. So even Jaycee Horn is giving him some respect there. But he comes over last second, punches the ball out. But this is a clear catch by Devontae Smith. He's got to make that. But this is a great recovery to knock the ball out. That's great. Very well done. But he is kind of respecting greatness, so he does respect what you can do. All right, he plays the run. Fantastic here on this next play. Let's watch it one more time here. Just kind of right there, sealing the edge, and then making a play on the ball, folks. He sealed that edge perfectly, forced the running back to try to go outside even more. And don't you dare, because I'm coming to make a nice tackle on that one. Oh, a bad throw here. He picks it on the sideline. I mean, this is a horribly thrown ball. What is this? Just throws it, trying to hit the corner here. But he throws it way too much to the sideline, and Horn's there for the pick. Now, if we watch where he is, I mean, he gets a little beat here. If this is just, one-on-one coverage, if the quarterback puts it right on the money a little bit inside, receiver's going to be able to probably spin back in, maybe go a little bit further. But, hey, right place, right time, bad throw. Not bad. We'll give it to him. Oh, yeah, perfect here. We can watch it one more time. I mean, not really. He kind of read it. Read it. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, no, this is great by him. Yes, sir. He reads it. Watch him. Watch him looking right here. Look at, he knows that this wide receiver's at the top of his route now because, he's got his hands on him. He probably feels his body, the receiver's body weight shifting probably back inside wherever he's cutting. And look at this vision. He's looking directly back at the quarterback. Fantastic. And then let's break it down even more. He's still watching, sees that the ball is thrown way too far outside and makes a play on the ball. This is fantastic, folks. Yes, sir. Great technique. We're writing that down. I love that. Oof. Fantastic. And look at him go again against Alabama, against Najee Harris, able to bring him down. Yes, sir. Cornerback coming in. I mean, he's obviously not blitzing on this play, so he has to kind of read it and then react, but he reads and reacts perfectly. Watch this man. He's right here. Steps up. It's a run. All right, I kind of have a little bit of outside contain. I'm still playing on my side, the right side. Najee Harris is bouncing it back out to the right side, and then he just attacks the hole right here. Wait. Attack. Bring him down. Only a 2-yard gain, and that's fantastic. Damn. All righty. Jaycee Horn, baby. All right, here he is, bottom of the screen, and then goes and makes a play on this ball. Gives him a little respect, sees him break the route, breaks on the ball. Nice hit, incomplete pass. Yes, sir. Get excited, get pumped. I love it out there. Woof. All righty, here we go. Next play. Another blitz. Is this another blitz? Here he is. Just comes in, sheds the block. You got a running back blocking me? What, are you nuts? Do you not know I'm Jaycee Horn? Jaycee mother-loving Horn, 6'1", 200 pounds. You're going to have this small back on me to try to block me? I'm blitzing. I'm coming. I'm shedding the block. I'm bringing the quarterback down. And that's a potential fumble as well. Who comes up with it? Do they get it? Oh, they do get on it. Yes, sir. Even breaks out the ball as well. Hits the quarterback so hard, he's like, what? Ball comes out, recovery, South Carolina. Yes, sir. All right, Tennessee looking to go deep, and this could be a mistake. Jaycee Horn. Oh, great play on this ball here. I mean, the wide receiver was trying to box him out a little bit here. Look at this great positioning by the wide receiver, but Jaycee Horn comes over the top, knocks the ball out of his hands, plays it perfectly. Yes, sir. No defensive pass interference. Watch this man come over the top. Get that ball. What do you think? You're catching balls out here? Do you not know who I am? Respect Jaycee Horn, folks. Yes, sir. Another quarterback trying to go deep on him. What are you doing? There is no separation here. Where are you going at the ball? This is tipped away in the end zone. Fantastic. Once again in the end zone. Tipped it away. So you want to go deep on me? I'm breaking that up. You're trying to head a slant against me? Come on. I got too much great technique for that. Plays it decently here. Just gets the hand on the ball coming in the front of the slant route right there. Fantastic. Make a play on the ball. Yes, sir. Do whatever it takes to say no, sir. We'll get a better angle here. Just comes through, breaks up the ball last second. Alrighty, they're going to throw against him again. They're going to try him again. They try him again, and once again, I mean, the great coverage by this man forces a little bit of a bad ball behind, tips it up, forces the pick all by himself. Great coverage, great tip up. We'll have a great look right there. I mean, that's not even very much that behind the throw. Definitely could have been maybe a little bit more in front, but he just makes a play on the ball. Look at this, knocks it up. Tips it up, pick because of what he's doing. All right, now we get him in the red zone. Tua, speed option out to the right. And once again, what are you doing? Once again, Tua, not the greatest pass here, but Jaycee Horn just makes a fabulous play on this ball right here. I mean, just watch this man. Watch Tua's eyes. So here he is right here. He's got this man making an out route to the front of the end zone, but he's still reading Tua's eyes while also still defending him. I mean, look at him. He steps up to take this option away, still reading Tua's eyes. Tua says, all right, well, this is covered now, so let me go behind him and try to hit this man in the back of the corner of the end zone. And then this man, Jaycee Horn, reads it perfectly, still reading his eyes. And look at this kind of great move here to start the back pedal, and then he's able to get the hand on the ball to knock it away. I mean, that's absolutely magnificent, folks. This man, he keeps his eyes on the quarterback the entire time. That's perfect, while having great defense on who he's supposed to defend, who's his assignment is. Oh man, keeps his eyes on QB. Fantastic. Alrighty, let's finish this highlight package here. I mean, yes, we just said it right here. We just said that. Perfect. Alrighty. What else do we get here? Who else is up? Who else wants to test this man? Nope. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm batting this ball. There is no separation. Why do you think you can squeeze this ball in here? Do y'all not know me? Because I'm not wearing number 7. Is the numbers changed? Switching you up? He's like, oh, number 7's not on the field. I can try to take a shot. Oh my God, number 1 is number 7. They bamboozled you. Yes, sir. But that was almost a pick too. Yes, sir. Alrighty, we get another victim here. Another quarterback victim. Here he is. Oh, yes. All right, let's watch him from the jump right here. Once again, just kind of sealing that edge. Quarterback tries to run and scramble back inside. And once again, Horn says, no, where are you going? Where are you going? I'm bringing you down. Get out of here. Alrighty, nice little wide receiver screen, and Jaycee Horn with the nice pop to bring him for a no-yard gain. Great job by that run for this defender to kind of stall this guy right here, and then Jaycee Horn lays the smack down. Get down. No screens out here. Let's watch him come off this block as well. I mean, wide receiver screens only work if the wide receivers can actually block for this other wide receiver to get to the second level. So here we go. Here's Horn right here. This wide receiver has to block him good. Let's watch Horn kind of disable this block a little bit. Pushes him. He just pushes. Who are you getting hands on? You're trying to get your hands on me. I'm going to shove you down. Do y'all not know who I am? Once again, Jaycee Horn just making a great play. And I think the numbers changed. They're like, hang on, number 7. All right, I'm blocking number 1. I can block him. Easy. No, you can't. It's still Horn, baby in disguise. Just shoves down the blocking wide receiver. Come on. Alrighty, back in the goal line. Another slant. Stop that. Ooh, all right. This man is fantastic. Shut down corner. Truly, stop testing this man. That's the note. Stop testing this man. Red zone. Deep ball. Stop testing him. Alrighty, what else do we get here? Somebody's going to go deep on him? No, not deep. 15 yards down the field. But, hey, once again, I mean, it's just great coverage. Little bit of a high throw. Comes up over the top. Hits him hard. Knocks the ball away. It's an incomplete pass, whatever it is. Oh, my goodness. Once again, we can't see it because it's out of the frame. And this is just Bomb Productions on YouTube. I got a little bit of a beef with you. Can we stop with the cut? Can we stop with the zoom in a little bit, because we don't even get to see, off the rip here. We don't get to see this man work. But either way, we do appreciate the highlights, so I guess we won't knock them too hard. But once again, oh, is this it right here? No. All right, so here we go. Let's watch this because I think these are back-to-back plays right here. Trying to hit him on a nice little slant route over the middle. Once again, that's great coverage, and then he's all the way up at the top here. Once again, trying to take a shot at him. No, stop that. Stop that. Knocks the ball away. Incomplete pass. You cannot score on this, man. Stop trying to test him. We get a great look right here. Look at that perfect play on the ball. Watch his hands go up. Incomplete. That's fantastic. Alrighty, this man definitely can play. Jaycee Horn. Holy moly. Woof. I want to know if he's ever given up a touchdown. I don't think he has. He's shut down all day. Alrighty. That's going to do it for us. We'll quickly check for any breaking news. It's a Saturday, so I'm not really expecting anything. We getting anything good here? What do we got here? Yeah, it looks to be no breaking news. Alrighty. So we will be out now. Alrighty, we're back tomorrow live. We'll break down the All-Star game a little bit more, go a little bit more in depth in that, see where we can make some money on the All-Star game as well, and we'll break down our NFL draft prospect of the day. Alrighty, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow, folks. Same day, same time, every day, noon Eastern, twitch.tv/takesbyfans. We're Takes by Fans, folks, so y'all not know. Come on, give us the respect we deserve. Give us the respect we deserve.